However, no one knew that Charlie's palm contained powerful inner strength and spiritual energy. Yamamoto Kazuki laughed almost immediately when he looked at Charlie's useless palm. He said with disdain, "Just a palm like yours is not as good as a 3-year-old child. The old master can take it with just one hand." Yamamoto Kazuki wanted to say that it can be resolved with just one hand, but the word, resolve, has not been said yet. Charlie's palm just touched his skin, and he was like being hit head-on by a high-speed train. Followed by a sharp pain. Yamamoto Kazuki made a sound, and the whole person flew out at high speed. This flight drew a parabola more than 20 meters long in the air. Before he landed, his veins and muscles were already in the air by Charlie's spiritual energy, and they were all broken. In other words, during the time he was flying in the air, he had gone from a martial arts master recognized well to a useless man without the power of a chicken. Immediately after Yamamoto Kazuki banged, he hit the ground heavily. At the moment when Yamamoto Kazuki fell to the ground, a stream of atomized blood spouted from his mouth. He saw a cloud of blood rising into the air. Yamamoto Kazuki tried to stand up with pain and horror on his face, but he found that his hands and feet couldn't exert any strength at all. He does not understand traditional martial arts. Otherwise, he must be able to judge his current state immediately. If you use 4 words to describe it, it means that the meridians are all broken. In traditional Chinese martial arts, once a person's meridians are cut, it is no longer possible to get rid of the word waste. The difference from high paraplegia is that if you compare a person's nerves to an intricate road network, then the main road from the brain to the entire body is now a person's cervical spine. High paraplegia is equivalent to completely destroying the main road at the cervical spine, so that the brain and the body cannot communicate effectively. And if the meridians are completely broken, it is equivalent to destroying all the nerves and the road network, whether it is the main line or the branch line. At this time, Yamamoto Kazuki was the latter. Seeing her master, Nanako was lying on the ground unable to move, her face full of extreme pain, hurriedly ran to him, and asked nervously, "Master, how are you? Are you okay?" Yamamoto Kazuki's lips trembled slightly, and his eyes were full of horror. I can't feel my limbs, my torso, and everything about me. I'm scrapped." After saying this, Yamamoto Kazuki's eyes flowed out 2 lines of muddy old tears. He really did not expect that he had been in the martial arts world for many years, and in the end, he would end up so tragically. When Nanako heard this, she was frightened for a while, then hurriedly looked at Charlie, blurted out and pleaded, "Master, please save my master. I'm kneeling for you." Charlie said blankly, his whole body meridians have been completely broken, and he can only ask for more blessings for the rest of his life. After finishing speaking, he stepped up to Yamamoto Kazuki, lowered his head, looked down at him, and said lightly, "Yamamoto Kazuki, there is a buzzword on the internet. I don't want to waste you, but if you want to send it to the door and beg me to abolish you, then I can't help it. In addition, don't think that this is over. Our bet has just begun. I will give you 1 minute to stand up. If you can't stand up, then I won our bet. As I win, then I will engrave the words 'Sick Man of East Asia' on your forehead." At this moment, Yamamoto Kazuki trembled with fright. This was the first time in his life that he felt terrified from the depths of his soul. He has never seen such a master, and even this has far exceeded his knowledge of masters. What kind of master would have such terrifying strength? A soft palm turned him into a completely useless person. The key is that even if he completely beats himself into a waste with one palm, he is still not satisfied, and he has to engrave the extremely humiliating 4 words on his forehead. Thinking of this, he begged in a panic, "Sir, I are not as good as a human being in playing skills, and it is my own responsibility to be abolished by you, but please leave the last face for me. Don't engrave those 4 words on the forehead, please." Nanako also bowed to Charlie in tears, and said in an urgent and pleading voice, "Sir, please see my master's seniority, give him a chance." Charlie looked at Nanako and asked, If it is me who loses, based on your understanding of him, do you think he will give me a chance? Nanako was speechless. She knows what kind of person her master is. It can't be said to be a heinous bad guy, but he is definitely a ruthless person who says nothing. With the character of this master, if he had won Charlie, then he would definitely not give Charlie any chance to beg for mercy. Thinking of this, Nanako didn't know what to do. She wanted to continue to intercede, but she felt that it wouldn't have any real meaning. Although she doesn't know the man in front of her, she knows the history of the two countries. Therefore, she also understands that the words sick man in East Asia are the existence that every Chinese young, old and child hates. Over the years, the Chinese have been constantly striving for self-improvement. From the feudal society where others were bullied, they have become the world's second largest and powerful country with more than 1 billion people. The efforts of several dozens of hundreds of years are to get rid of this sick men of East Asia, and let the Chinese nation rise again on top of the world. Under such circumstances, Master even had to make a bet with him with the words, sick man of East Asia. Doesn't this mean that he has touched his negative scale? Thinking of this, Nanako cried and said, "Sir, my master is old and he should have enjoyed his old age. It was for me he had to come out again. He has lost his ability to move. The next half of his life is bound to be very hard. He has been severely punished, so please raise your hands high and don't humiliate him anymore."